Hey, what's up everyone? Gene with Dent Repair Now. Today we've got this on a 2016 Land Rover Discovery. Also hit a little bit down here. The customer got hit by a shopping cart in a parking lot. So smacked pretty hard up against the body line, down low on the door. It's gonna be a tricky repair, but I think we can fix this whole thing. Come on over and let me show you the damage. All right, so you can see up at the top, we've got a nice shot right up against the body line, and then down low where the bottom of the cart hit, another dent. We're gonna use a combination of glue pulling tools as well as our standard PDR tools to fix this. I'll be back to show you some of the progress as we make it through. All right, so I'm not gonna film the whole process because it's incredibly boring to watch. However, I wanna give you a little peek into how we do it. So we're gonna start this using our special glue pull repair tools. We're gonna use this tab right here. It's called an ice material tab. And we've got a collision hot glue. I've already cleaned the panel off to prep it to let the glue stick to it. And using my light, I see exactly where I need to place the tab. Get that on there, and then that'll set up for, I don't know, maybe 45 seconds and it'll be ready to pull. I'll be right back to show you what that looks like, and we'll kick this repair off. All right, so we've waited about 45 seconds. That is set. I'm gonna use this little lifter to start making a pull here. This just gives me leverage to work the metal up and begin to flatten it out. Being very careful to not over pull. And also I've got a little bit of displaced metal below that dent. So I'm gonna come in and begin correcting that as well. So that is our knockdown. That lets me knock that high spot down a little bit. This is our paddle from the guys over at Dent Time, Mike Toledo, another big YouTuber. Go ahead and pull a little bit more. And that's fine that released. That was on there long enough. I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit more tapping down on this displaced metal. Now it's a little cool here today, so I'm gonna warm the panel up so get ready to accept that hot glue again. And I'm gonna switch from that small tab, the small oval. We're gonna use what we call a dead center crease tab. A little bit of hot glue hanging on there. So these are from the guys over at Pico. See the name on there? Sticking with our same glue. And what I've got is a line where the shopping cart hit the car and drove straight in. This is gonna help me pull that line straight out. And again, we're trying to get the little crease that's left in there out. All right, so see, looking into the light, right here's where that crease was, and that tab pulled that a little bit high. So you saw it sitting a little high. I'm gonna come in with our knockdown again. I'm actually gonna switch tips, or switch knockdowns this time. I'm gonna go with this, made out of a plastic. Nice and hard, but it still doesn't mar the paint. A little bit of that line left, and we definitely shrunk it. I'm gonna go ahead and pull again, and hopefully get the depth out the rest of the way. Now I'm gonna switch to that same dead center tab, but in an ice material that pulls a little bit harder. All right, the tab's all dried up and ready to go. Same lifter. Now I don't want to over pull. I've got plenty of power here. And looking right there, I can see on either side that it is pulled up and ready to come off. I'm gonna go ahead and hit it with some of our isopropyl alcohol release solution to let that go so we don't over pull. Pulled up that high spot. I'm gonna come back in with our knockdown again and tap this in. Now we've got a little bit of a round dent left at the bottom. I'm gonna come in and attack that with a round tab. So this is a nice little round 13 millimeter. They call it a dead center tab. Great for pulling tight little dents out. A little dab of glue just like that. And the bottom of that dent was a little deep. That's why I snapped that off. I wanted to actually pull the belly up so we can knock it down and get it flat. All right, let me bring you over and show you where we're at here. Probably as far as I'll go with glue, I'll finish it out with our tools. I'll probably slide a whale tail down in between the glass and the door and tighten that up. Come on over and check it out. So, moving up really nice. That scratch should polish all the way out. And there's really just a minimal amount of low left. See it right there on the edge of the bright light. Actually, I may just go ahead and glue pull this and see if we can't finish that out the rest of the way. All right, so looking at it a little bit closer, instead of trying to fight down there with a tool, I'm gonna go ahead and glue pull this the rest of the way. So what I've got is the dent below is just sort of a big soft area. So I'm putting a big tab on with a little bit of glue. I'm gonna try to move that all in one move. There's a little slide hammer here. And we broke a tab. No big deal, that definitely happens. All right, so now we've got a new tripod set up with some face tracking. Pretty slick. I think you're gonna like this a lot more. So we have been glue pulling on this dent, working pretty well. We've got a big, not a big, but a soft, shallow low here. I'm gonna use a different product. Instead of our hot glue pulling, I'm gonna use what's called a cold glue. So the brand we have is called Glexo. The tabs are by Kiko. And what this is gonna allow me to do is really move big soft metal without pulling a hard line. It's gonna move a bigger, softer area. That is looking really, really good. Dial that exposure down for you. Just a little bit of detail work to do. Obviously polish the scratch out. Once we do that, I'll be able to see the rest. I'll probably finish whatever little bit is in there with some regular tools. Now, we're gonna jump up to this bad boy. We'll start this with glue as well and let you see how the process goes. You saw the damage is tall, a little bit oblong. I think you can see that pretty well on the camera. I'm gonna come in with oval ice tab. I'm gonna stick that right here and begin to pull that out. And then I'm gonna mix it up a little bit and go with a bridge lifter. So these feet help to spread out the pressure, and unscrewing this lets me add pressure to the dent. The bottom section looks pretty good. Just leaving a little bit of pressure lets that alcohol work under the tab without over pulling. There she goes. Moves pretty good. You can see a big difference in the dent itself. Still a little low here, but a little bit more of a low. The tab sort of pulls from the center and flexes in. Use a smaller tab and come up and move this upper area some. All right, these are set up. I'm actually gonna come back and use our slide hammer for this. So normally on our smaller tabs, 91% is sufficient. This one is stuck pretty good, using some 99%. So we've got the dent open back up. The crown or the buckle that was above the dent has moved really nice with that bridge pull. For this pull, I'm gonna go back to our Rover lifter, our mini lifter, and squeeze and pull that belly up. We don't wanna over pull. That is hooked up and pulling really nice. We use our 99% alcohol to release. So this big tab, the dent's not real huge there, but it's, or not real deep, but it's kind of wide and flat. So we're going to the wider, rigid tab to pull that up. This one I'm gonna bump with the slide hammer. I'm actually not even gonna let it set up all the way. Occasionally when you get a tab that sticks too hard, we'll just come in and release with heat. So as we approach about 150 degrees, the glue will start to liquefy. All right, we're gonna do a little bit of knocking down, and then it looks like we're probably ready to switch to our traditional pushing tools. So up here is where we're fighting, where you can see the scuffs. That high spot at the top, right there, where the bright light is hitting it, that's the pull we just made, and that pulled a lot of the belly of that dent up. So we're gonna knock this down, see what we're looking like, and then decide whether to keep the glue pulling or switch to our traditional push tools. So we've drastically shrunk that. I'm going to come in at the top with a nice small round tab. Let's see if we can pull some of the pit up right at the body line. Moved up pretty nice. I feel like we've got the majority of the depth out of this dent. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to our push tools. So I'll be back to see you in just a little bit. I'm going to clean up my glue pulling and move forward from there. All right, it's all cooled off. I'm going to come in and knock that push marks and a little bit of crowning around the body line down. Then I'll bring you over and show you where we're at. All right, so here is that top dent. See our scuffs, we haven't polished anything yet. We're gonna need to do some knocking down and a little bit more detail work, but it's coming out great. The body line is pretty well backing up. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump in here and get this all detailed out. It's essentially the same process. Down behind the panel, one tiny push at a time, working into smaller tips and reshaping the texture. I'll be back to show you the finished result after we polish it all out and everything's done. Stick around. All right, so we are all wrapped up with this Land Rover Discovery. Get a nice hit close here and show you how well that came out. You can see, man, it looks great. It really does. The scratch is all polished out. Even coming down here along the bottom looks great. Customer is going to be thrilled to death with this repair. All right, so thanks for watching. This repair came out great. You got to see the whole process. We are changing the way we do our YouTube channel. We're going to be showing a lot more behind the scenes action just like this, talking about some of the tools and techniques, showing you exactly how we repair the cars. If you're anywhere around Pittsburgh and you need a paintless dent repair service, dentrepairnow.com, or call or text the number right here. Make sure you click that subscribe button on here. We want to get these videos out all across YouTube. And thanks for watching. Can't wait to see you on the next repair.